Most people think that the brain controls movement, but in fact, the brain learns from movement. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. I'm Javi Kayut, neuroscience researcher, yoga teacher, and health enthusiast. The brain works basically as a predictability system. So it tries to predict exactly every single chain of action and processes we do with our bodies. So it understands from the load and pressure we'll put on a knee, on a shoulder, on a whatever part of your body that you're demanding and using. So this is how the brain works. It basically creates this entire map of yourself, and at every single movement, at every single moment, it needs to predict how much load you're going to put in that movement, how much range of movement you need to do this, how much you need to do that. So the brain itself is this amazing system that at all moments try to get it accurately how much strain, stress, movement, overall range you need to do basically everything that you do. So basically, the brain understands the body through sensory input. Thinking about that, our joints, they're probably the most important piece in this entire equation. Joints have a variety of different sensors, from pressure to overall temperature to overall range. You will see that the joint itself is one of the most intelligent pieces of this entire structure. Movement constantly updates the brain's map. Basically, in neuroscience, we have something that is called body maps. Body maps are a simple but very important piece of this entire understanding of aging. Body maps determine coordination, motor control, and basically most of the sensory input that the brain receives. When one specific area of your body moves a lot, the brain map of that area grows. When we don't use much a specific area or joint, then the brain map narrows, and the brain itself invests in the areas that it uses the most. So you will see that this is why we're able to perfect movement in sports, in medicine, in a variety of different fields, because the brain likes to be better. And because the body wants to be better at specific things, we start to have a body and a brain that age in slightly different ways. Because the brain requires input in order to stay sharp, and the body requires stimulus in order to keep active and keep biologically speaking, aligned to what it was designed to be and to do. What happens is, when we deprive ourselves from specific movements, because basically we have more patterns in one area or another, we deprive the brain from having this intelligent, overall, always adapting brain map. And sometimes pain appears, not because the body is damaged, but because the brain lost its overall information map of one specific area after an injury, after a trauma, after not using that specific area for years, for ages. So movement itself is this neuroeducation. When you go into a yoga class and you experience the full range of movement in one area, when you go and you engage with a specific sort of breathing pattern, when you tell your body to focus on one sensation, even though you're experiencing another one stronger at that moment, you actually guide your brain and you educate your brain on those sensory maps. You allow your brain to understand more of how your body is functioning and about your overall, not only range of movement, but precision of movement. This is why it's so important for us to keep stimulating not only the body, but brain and body together, so that the brain is able to learn more about this vast mapping that it needs to do at all moments, and the body can actually be engaging and being demanded in a way that it's always striving and learning from this new input that you're always bringing into the system. So basically, the quality of your movement shapes the quality of how your nervous system is able to regulate yourself. The less you move, less of your brain will understand about you. And let's be simple. We're not talking about running a marathon. We're talking about your brain understanding the full range of movement you have in your shoulder. How many injuries we have in our day by day just from the fact that when we are facing a situation that is potentially dangerous, we react in a way that the brain itself and the body are not aligned. So you go for a range of movement that the brain thinks it has, but the body itself lost ages ago, and then injury. or the other way around. So the thing about understanding how the brain and the body are tightly connected is mostly because the more you guide your system into updating its internal maps of movement, more you have availability of movement. And the more availability of movement you have, more health. So this is kind of how this change of events happen. If you have adaptability, if you have mobility, if you have a brain that is able to learn, from the stimulus of the body, as well as the body to learn from what the brain demands, then you have a system that is fully adaptable, and then you reach health. This is kind of the overall idea. I'm Javi Caio. Thank you so much for being with me today. Stay tuned for the next video.